Welcome to the weekly live broadcast of Turtle WoW News with Vrograg. I'm your news anchor orc, Vrograg Fishslayer, here to bring you all the top server news for the week of February 24th, 2025. I'm the orc, and here's the news. Top news this week, some information was rolled out about Turtle WoW's most recent challenge mode, the level 1 Lunatic. In a February 19th post on the forums, Torta gave some numbers, updates, and facts about this admittedly niche challenge, which has seen some unexpected levels of adoption. Reportedly, there are nearly 600 lunatics on Nordanaar and over 150 on Tel'abim. The conceit of the challenge is simple enough. Do as much as one possibly can while being level 1. Now, as an added reward, honorable kills, quest completion, gaining an exalted reputation, and even somehow getting the Arena Grandmaster trinket will now grant unique titles to those who truly demonstrate that the smallest adventurers can achieve the highest glories. Specifically, to get Wee Warlord, a lunatic would need 10,000 kills, while Pint-Sized Politician needs the lunatic to get the exalted with one allied faction. The two faction-specific titles are Hero of Goldshire and the Lazy Peon's Foreman for doing 100 quests, respectively, for the Alliance or Horde. Naturally, Arena's Smallest Smasher needs the Arena Master trinket. Pulling off these feats requires more than just courage, which is why the post also made public the existence of a channel for lunatics to communicate, /lunatic of course. For any bold enough to find new and unique ways to play the game, all one need do is make a new character and get the level 1 lunatic glyph from your starting zone glyph vendor. Along with the announcement of the titles that are to be rolled out, Torta also posted the leaderboard for honorable kill from lunatics. The leader, Stabs Mackenzie, already racked up an impressive 8,600 as of February 19th. As it would happen in that same thread, some suspicion was cast on the original leader, but Acalix looked into it and found signs of win trading and PvP multi-boxing, which of course is against normal PvP rules. Not just lunatic, and the original number 1 was forever publicly shamed. So congratulations to the current frontrunner on Nordanaar. On Tel'abim, it's Neomast with over 5,000 kills, and all other competing in this admittedly odd race for 10,000 kills. And to cap off the festive mood in the post, Torta also revealed a piece of art commissioned just for this announcement by Lionell Schramm, showing what appears to be a level 1 rogue poking an annoyed, albeit confused, Onyxia. To round out top news, we'll take a look at teasers and any news about Kara 40. Of course, the community has long been clamoring for word about Kara 40, and last week, this same news broadcast gave the public some insight from a post from head of PR Acalix responding about Kara 40. It seems our reporting might have helped grease the wheels, as the contents of that original post made its way to the announcement channel of the main Discord on the 20th, as well as some new fascinating information. Through the announcement, the public became aware of the official name that the first raid group will have for clearing Kara 40 first, the Conqueror of Desolation. The plan, according to the team, is to have a release video to celebrate a 14-day countdown before it goes live. This isn't exactly a date, but can help raid teams plan and know how much breathing room they have before the raid is released. Furthermore, the announcement made note that only minor tweaks and fixes remain in the wake of class changes 2 before Kara 40, though more can be expected following its release. And out of left field, having seemingly nothing to do with the Tower of Karazhan, Acalix informed the community that the Armory website is back online. This web utility is a handy thing to have to look at other players' gear, be they friend or foe. Better yet, this version of the Armory website includes Tel'abim, whereas the previous version didn't work for the smaller sister server of Nordanaar. There were even some screenshots from Kara 40 in the announcement as well, showing a blue draconid named Leywatcher Incantagos, the Devourer, slinging spells with nearby blue dragon spawn underlings and whelps fighting in what looks to be the portico near the library in Retail's version of Karazhan. Also appearing is an observatory, but rather than a big shadowy nether spite, we see an echo of Medivh. However, for now, we'll just have to wait to find out what's in store for Turtle WoW in Karazhan 40. And to round out top news, I wanted to mention an unusual bit of content being teased for future release. Here from the official Turtle WoW Twitter on the 18th, we see a post boasting about access to pet rocks in the next patch. While this isn't likely going to break any huge gameplay loops, it does show that even amid all the super serious talk about Kara 40, class changes, and future goals, the lighthearted and silly spirit of the developers is still intact. I personally can't wait to show off mine. That is all the time we have for top news this week. Next up, we have Market Watch. Welcome to Market Watch for this week. I'm your market analyst, Vrograg Fishslayer. All our data is gathered from numbers provided by WowAuctions.net, the industry leader in auction house reports. I throw it all together to make indexes of the various market sectors, as well as the S&P 200, an index of the 200 biggest and most influential commodities in the economy. So let's get to the markets. On Tel'abim, the Alliance S&P 200 rose 20% to 5 gold 11 this week, while the Hordes Index came down 6% to 4 gold 95. This is the first time in nearly a month that the Alliance S&P 200 has been trading higher than on the Horde market. Whether this trend will continue is hard to say, as the high value of the Alliance side hasn't been seen since back in mid-December. The Horde, meanwhile, remains comfortably within market norms around the 5 gold price point. Something to watch out on Tel'abim is the sudden disparity for Blasted Lands buffs between the factions. Over the last month, the Alliance has been trading these reagents for powerful consumables around the half gold mark, which was largely the case too for the Horde. But just this week, the price for Horde Blasted Land buffs fell off a cliff from 70 silver to 12 in a matter of days. This market instability might be for some big suppliers shaking up the market, or over-eager Alliance traders trying to cash in on the once higher price on the Horde side. Keep in mind, with smaller split markets, moving goods to one another auction house can seem profitable, but often just a little extra supply is all that's needed to lose some gold quick. Over on Nordanaar, the S&P 200 for the merged auction house remained essentially flat, losing only 10 silver over the week, and is finally showing some upward trajectory when looking out at the monthly view. In recent weeks, I've been advising Nordanaar investors to use their gold now while prices are facing deflation, because we don't know exactly when things will pop off with the announcement for Karazhan 40. A market hotspot for Nordanaar was seen this week in the Enchanting Index, which shot up an impressive 22% to 4 gold 10. While this recent peak is impressive, it still pales in comparison to the post 1.17.2 peak of 5 gold 80 created by the glut of new tier gear that needed to be enchanted. Still, looking deeper into the individual stocks does shed some light on what's causing the recent uptick. On the weekly hourly charts, there seems to be a few primary culprits for this growth. Nexus crystals rocketing from 6 gold to over 10 on the 23rd stands out certainly, as many raiding guilds have these in abundance. This might mean those guilds who have them laying around might want to cash in while the market is hot. Also overperforming was large radiant shards with their 2 gold jump on the 21st, as well as small brilliant shards of all things, which somehow broke the 1 gold mark on the 22nd. The reason the latter is so surprising is because small brilliant shards are generally used for very little, but looking at the item in the longer view does show that every so often the price does face a small uptick in gold valuation. But to those lucky enough to catch these historically high prices, congratulations. This is why it pays to keep a close eye on the markets. Before we close, Shellcoin closed this week on Nordanaar at 24 gold 22 and Tel'abim at 10 gold 23. Remember, it's never too late to say no to bad investments, though I am surprised that the bind on pickup change didn't crash the markets. Seems like the people that have shell coins are holding them for the long haul. That's all I have for Market Watch this week. I hope you found some of the information here useful. Make sure to use wowauctions.net for all of your own market research. Remember to keep an eye on your coin, otherwise someone else will for you. Now, let's check out the Community Bulletin. Here is this week's Community Bulletin, a posting and celebration of player-made events and goings-ons for the week of February 25th, 2025. Let's see what the players have been up to. The newly reborn Shuhalo tribe of Tauren role players gathered last weekend to fight some great hyena beast, though rumor has it that some might have fallen because word has it that there is a funeral going on. So hopefully no one was hurt. On the other side of the world, the Scarlet Legion met to hold a sermon about law, order, and purity right in the Cathedral of Light in Stormwind. Hopefully someone catches wind of the zealots in their midst. While other places were full of serious business, the monthly Turtle Fair happened outside of Astronar to good fanfare, and a healthy dose of romance in celebration of the Love is in the Air holiday. The Turtle Fair happens every month and is a great place to meet with the roleplay community, welcoming to newcomers and veterans alike. The next one should be scheduled for late March, so keep an eye out for postings about it. Coming up in a few weeks is an event hosted by the Library of Suramar, a magically inclined organization led by a Grand Magic Strix. They hope to investigate reports of restless spirits near Starfall Village in Winterspring. Folk from any faction are welcome with good intentions, so if you'd like to lend them a hand, I'm sure they'd appreciate it. It's scheduled for Friday, March 7th at 9:30 p.m. server time. Coming up in just a few days, on the 26th, is a little well-earned R&R for the Anvil Breakers as they celebrate one of their many successful hunts out in the wilds of Azeroth. If you'd like to share in the celebration, bring good cheer and maybe some drinks to Breakers Rest. The party kicks off on Wednesday, the 26th at 6:55 p.m. server time. As always, keep an eye on the event channel in the main Discord to keep track of any events happening near you. Turtle WoW is more than a game, it's a community. So do your part in continuing that legacy by getting involved however you can. Now, let's shoot over to the changelog roundup. Today we have 2 changelogs to look at. As mentioned in my previous broadcasts, as part of my continuing effort to bring word about Turtle 2.0 and Unreal Azeroth, I will be presenting the behind-the-scenes changelog, and then we'll switch over to the normal weekly live server changelogs you're all used to. First, the Unreal Azeroth changelog. This week's Unreal Azeroth changelog was released on the 22nd and had 7 notes which can be seen on the slide here. The in-development client gained a 3D model animation that most players might know as a dynamic cooldown. This will allow visual player feedback, much as it does currently on most WoW servers. There was a note about different skyboxes, which I found perplexing, but as it turns out, Vanilla has different versions of these. One for the Land of the Living, and one for the spirits doing a corpse run. When asked about why this different and seemingly obsolete system was being integrated into Unreal Azeroth, Scenarios simply stated, "If Vanilla has it, so should we." Do note that within the changelog, there is a clear delineation between the Modern and Legacy mode. Modern, as far as I can tell, is taking more creative liberties, as with the lighting effects may be different when a player is a ghost. And on the final notes of the changelog, we can see choices being made for different lighting and new trees from Mordon, possibly even tree placements. Of course, we're a long way out from being able to judge this modern mode as it compares to the more rigidly vanilla legacy mode, but it is worth noting the differences already being made. Now to the Turtle WoW changelog from February 18th, which had 26 changes from class adjustments to bug fixes. Let's check out the most impactful changes with this roundup. The Lunar Festival party might be over on Turtle WoW, but as is tradition, the Druids of Moonglade met following the yearly festivities to discuss planning for next year's event. Though they normally enjoy keeping surprises to themselves, they did have a press release mentioning some tweaks they'll have already for 2026. First, it seems that partygoers were taking their limited time Celebrate Good Times buff into raids, which is hardly something to celebrate. So next year, the buff will be prevented from being taken into areas like that. Furthermore, it would seem that Elder Snowcrown got lost during this year's celebration, or at least their fellow elders seem to have lost track of him. The old spirits are indeed old and sometimes need a friendly reminder given how their memory can be off. Can't wait for next year's celebration. Survival enthusiasts might have noticed that the last few weeks their general tab was granting them the ability, if they had it already, to place tents without any materials. Though those seeking shelter from the elements might have enjoyed the nice affordable reprieve, it turned out that this was a promotional offer to get adventurers of Azeroth interested in setting up tents. The promotional offer provided by Nessuary's camp in Stranglethorn was meant to only happen back when they first premiered the survival profession, but evidently an intern reset their schematic printer and accidentally that put the tents back in promotion mode. The problem has since been fixed, but survival enthusiasts might notice that fishing boats were still left on promotional mode. Do with that information what you will. After a lengthy trial period, mages have finally afforded the newly utilized spell Icicles into the rank of an elemental spell. Apparently, there was some back and forth from arcane mages saying that it was just a flashier version of arcane missiles and it didn't even apply a slow like nearly all frost effects do. However, several Frostmage specialists pointed out that many fire spells were not under the same scrutiny of endowing a damage over time effect, so since Icicles does frost damage, it should qualify for the mana benefits seen in the Master of Elements talent. The math on the Icicles is unique, of course, as it is the only frost or fire spell that is channeled and capable of critting, but it roughly equals out to the same benefit most spells get for mana refunds. And finally, the Durotar Labor Union won a big legal case in front of a Horde legal tribunal. There were lingering disputes about how the pernicious owners of the island, the Venture Company, were making the quests and mobs in the area way too tough in the hopes of keeping the free goblin labor. Venture Company representatives said, every time a new goblin appears, they do everything they can to leave and escape to the Durotar Labor Union. We can't have that. However, as the case proved, there were obstacles, monsters, and tasks being adjusted just to make goblin life there a living hell. Given Blackstone Isle's proximity to Orgrimmar, when the tribunal judged against the Venture Company, the profiteers accepted the ruling, which primarily involved ceasing to feed the wildlife performance-enhancing chemicals. Labor union representatives were thrilled at the ruling and said, hey, at least give a goblin a fighting chance. We'll continue to follow this story, as rumors from the Alliance say that a similar case is being heard about Alathalos for the High Elves. That completes the changelog roundup for last week. This week's changelog may be out soon, so make sure to check it out so you can keep on top of all the latest adjustments coming to Turtle WoW. I've been Vrograg Fishslayer. Thank you for watching this broadcast. If you'd like to support the channel, make sure to subscribe and like the video. I air these live broadcasts on Tuesday, 4 p.m. EST, so if you'd like to watch as the news is made, be sure to drop by. Until next time, be good to one another and stay informed, because the deadliest weapon is knowledge.